Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing fantastically well. It is Connor and it is Brownie. We are back to review the Leeds United hammering of Burnley, the Burnley battering at Saturday lunchtime. A fantastic result for Leeds United. If you would get your comments in, guys, we'll do our very best, of course, to read them out. I know there's a lot of you who've commented already. Brownie, how are you doing, mate? All right?
Perfect, mate. I don't even drink and I'm having one tonight. So that was just perfection, wasn't it? Just before, though, I'm not going to get copyrighted for Aldi's cider, am
I? No, just make sure you're veering away from Sky Sports and we'll be fine, mate.
Other cider is available.
That's right. So, I mean, how do you feel?
That was pretty good, wasn't it? Do you know what was good about it? The first 10 or 15 minutes, it looked like it was going to be one of them scrappy dogfight games. And we just grinded it out. We just grinded that period of the game out, and just the quality came through in the end.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'd agree. It was a tough start, wasn't it? They were well up for it. You could tell they were well up for it. And I think it was probably redemption after the last time, wasn't it? 'Cause I think Dyche, and probably rightly so, he came out last time and was saying stuff like, you know, we didn't deserve to lose that game. And he probably was right. It was, we were just camped, weren't we, in that first game?
Yeah, well, the first game had the whole controversy of the goal that disallowed. Should it have been a penalty? Should he have blown the whistle early? And it all surrounded that. And yeah, they were right up in our faces to begin with at the start of the game. And it did look like it was going to be a long afternoon with the first 20 minutes, but we grinded it out. And again, because I was quite worried about the Chris Wood element. Would he bully us and that? But I thought again, Llorente and Strike just pocketed another centre forward, didn't they?
Yeah, it's getting a bit ridiculous now, isn't it? Do you think they are
7 clean sheets in last 15 games for Strike?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a joke, really. It's like 1 in every 2 games, and we're talking the best league in the world. And Llorente is just really growing on me game after game. He really is becoming a bit of a really, really good signing. The first couple of months didn't start well for him when he was in and out. But now we're really showing that, and it's another master stroke from Orta, Bielsa, and Radrizzani, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that first game we ever watched of him, I sort of talk about it all the time in terms of when I thought he was, in that Chelsea game where he was maybe caught on his heels a little bit. He was making a couple of mistakes, and I thought, yeah, this guy's definitely the reserve centre half. But since then, mate, for me, he's been the standout performer in this Leeds United side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every week now when we're talking about a man of the match, he's in the conversation. I mean,
Chelsea have just scored the jammiest equaliser in the last minute. It's really frustrating.
Are we allowed to comment on? I don't want us getting copyrighted from BBC or BT, Connor. Just be careful.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. There goes the monetisation. That's it.
But yeah, it like I say, every weekend we're talking about Llorente in the man of the match brackets. It just goes to show how well he's doing. And I thought it was really interesting where Cooper, he normally comes straight back in when he's available, and today's the first time he hasn't. We'll touch on Bamford, I'm sure, later on in the video, but is this the first sign? Today was that the first sign of a couple being phased out?
Yeah, no, it's a really interesting point, isn't it? I mean, I guess when you first saw the lineup, mate, what were your initial thoughts?
Excited. I felt like it was the first time for a long time where we were at the strongest we could be, bar Cock. But would he have played in that team today? I don't think he would have done. I think that's as strong as we could really have got. So it was really exciting. But then after 10 or 15 minutes, I'm thinking, have we got too much flair on the pitch type of thing? But it was really good to see us grind it out. And then we're bringing on players like Rodrigo. It's frightening, really.
Yeah, no. I mean, I saw the lineup and I thought it's probably the strongest we've had in a long time, to be honest. The depth on the bench as well. I saw it and I thought, yeah, this is a real proper side we've got now. And eventually it's got to that point now, hasn't it, where we go into these games and we look at our lineup, obviously in the past 2 games, really, and you're thinking to yourself, this is a side who are proper together. We've got a lot of quality on the pitch. I mean, like you said, Brownie, we gritted it out in those first 10, 15 minutes where maybe at the start of the season, you'd have maybe seen Leeds sort of flop in the first 15 minutes and maybe concede 2 or 3.
Yeah, you'd have seen that weak side to us when you look back to the Palace game. The Palace at Selhurst Park, them type of games where everything that seemed to go in our box went in. Whereas now we're really resolute and we really are showing the defensive side. And we've got a positive goal difference, Connor. We've got a positive goal difference. That's another thing that came out of today. +4. Wow.
Yeah, no, definitely. Sujal there, by the way, Connor, just received my Rafinha special. Gidia, not taking it off all weekend. Yeah, go check it out, guys. There's loads of good stuff in the description below if you want to check out that good stuff. But yeah, I think as Ian says here, it's a fantastic early birthday present. Happy birthday, Ian, by the way. But I think I think in general it's one of those, isn't it, where it's such a great start to a weekend, especially when it's a middayer. And yeah, mate, I mean, let's talk about the goals because obviously we've not touched on that yet. There were just 4 absolutely outrageous goals, weren't they?
Yeah, they're just pure quality in them all. I mean, the first one we've counter-attacked as well as we do, and Clicks going forward, and we're saying, pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it. What a finish! What a finish!
Yeah,
one of them, wasn't it? And
yeah,
that was the Click that we know and love. That was him. We mentioned it after the Tottenham game that he was back to his high standards. And every Leeds fan, we've all questioned Click this season. I'd be amazed if not one person's questioned him this season. Some have always said he'll come good, but at periods of the season, he's had the question mark next to him. He's had COVID. He's had about 400 million games in 2 seasons. So maybe he did just need that break. But the last couple of weeks, we've really seen a Mateus Click that we love. But I will add in there that today was the first time for a long time we've seen more advanced. He's been allowed to go forward because he's had Dallas and Phillips behind him. He's been the reliant one to actually be able to bon on, which I think is what suits him best, Click, when he's making them late runs to the box.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point, isn't it? Like he sort of played an advanced state, didn't he? And we've not seen that a lot from him. We were speaking during the game, and I think he's had obviously problems with COVID. There might be some effects of long COVID there as well, where he's been a bit lethargic and fatigued and stuff like that. And that's obviously a very valid excuse. I personally just thought maybe this level at points wasn't for him. I thought he was in transition. I said it to you. I thought he was quite lethargic. I thought defensively from the midfield he wasn't great. And I'll stick my neck out on the line, Brownie. You know, me and you were very similar when we do that. You get a lot of sort of fickle people who'll turn all of a sudden and say, I've always backed Click when maybe they haven't. And it's not a case of us not backing them, but you know, when performances haven't been up to the standard, which they haven't been for Click for a long time now, obviously we've got a lot of reasoning behind that with regards to COVID, but I think he's really struggled to acclimatise to the Premier League. Today and last week was probably for me, showing what he was like in comparison. But you know, it was similar performances to the Liverpool and the Fulham that you saw at the start of the season, wasn't it?
Definitely, and again, it was when he was more attacking minded. He's had to fill in for Phillips. He's had to fill in a more in a defensive role, and I don't think that really suits him, to be honest. So it was great to see him more up the field more, and that was just a trademark Click's goal, wasn't it? And interestingly, here's a stat for you that I seen today. No team in the Premier League scored more goals from outside the box than Leeds this season, which I thought was staggering.
Doesn't feel like that, does it?
It doesn't, no. Yeah. But I'll have to check it out. You know what Twitter's like. It can be a load of waffle. But
yeah. I mean, the first goal, obviously Clicky scored his goal. The second one, I mean, let's just talk about Alioski's effort where he hit the corner flag in the first half. I mean, that was probably the most... I mean, that's going to be on Soccer AM for the next year, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is, in his defence, that's the most difficult... With the ball coming across you, is the most difficult skill to pull off. we've seen him do it time after time. The West Brom goal was like that. It came across him and he's hit it went out for a throw-in, didn't it? I mean, come on. Can't be going out. Can't be going. Hit Preston, hit anywhere with the ball, but it can't go out for a throw-in, can it? Come on.
Nah, I didn't know. I thought at that point as well, Brownie. I thought, because I think that was when it was 0-0. Actually, congratulations as well to Leicester City, who've just won the FA Cup. Well done, fellas! What a massive achievement! What a staggering growth they've had winning the Premier League. Just won the FA Cup, staggering. So well done to Leicester City.
Fifth time lucky for that. I'm sure I read today that they've lost the final 4 times. So. And it's good to have fans back in there. What difference does that make when you're hearing the crowd cheer when there's a goal going in? We're nearly back to it. But yeah, what an achievement for Leicester. They've won the Prem, they've won the FA Cup. This Super League 6,
Well, hopefully, mate, we've heard Radrizzani talk about it, haven't we? Hopefully that's going to be a blueprint for us one day going for stuff like that. But just drawing back on the game, Brownie, when Alioski drove it in and Harrison with probably the most underrated finish you'll see this season. What a lovely deft touch that was. And just a quick mention on Harrison, because I know there's a lot of people talking about it. I thought he was, once again, I thought maybe at the start he was still a little bit, because Harrison does sometimes have that consistency in his play, but I thought generally over probably about 75, 80 minutes, he was superb today.
Yeah, and a couple of assists and a goal. You can't really ask for too much more, and everybody's dribbling at the mouth over Mount and Foden. Yet Harrison's he's got the most goal contribution as an England midfielder this season. And I think it goes under the radar purely because he plays for Leeds. But if he's making 8 goals, 8 assists in a top 4 team, he's in the England squad. 100%. He's in the England squad. But because he's doing it from a newly promoted team, we had this conversation last week about Dallas. It's not a household name. It's not someone you see in the Champions League or stuff like that. He's not got a Spanish name to him. It's just a Jack Harrison type of thing. And 8 goals, 8 assists, I think £11 million or whatever it's going to be is a snip.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I completely agree. Keep getting your comments in the section below as well, guys. We'll all talk about it. Phillips crossfield ball is magic. Yeah, 100%. I mean, let's talk about the.
We've just touched on Alioski, the ball coming across him and shooting. It's similar technique for Phillips. The ball's rolling back at him, and he has absolutely zinged it. If I don't know if there is a pass of the season award, but if there was, I haven't seen one better.
No, it was absolutely beautiful. Was that for? I think that was that for the 3rd goal? Was it 4th? I think it was 4th, was it?
I think it was the 4th one, yeah, because it's gone to Harrison and he's put it in for Rodrigo to go around Bailey Peacock foul. I mean, he was just stood in no man's land for that goal, wasn't he? He made Rodrigo's mind up for him. As a striker, he's in no man's land. He is in absolute no man's land.
Yeah, no, I think Liam Cal makes a good point as well here. You know, it's all good about praising and all this sort of stuff. I thought Rafa was quiet today. I thought our mate Charlie Taylor, by the way, guys, went to mine and Brownie's school. He was in my year. I was good friends with Charlie, and I think Brownie's brother's still best mates with him now. But yeah, I thought Charlie.
Yeah, when they got. He was messaging during the game. I watched the game with my brother, and he was messaging during the game for him to see. He was putting in when Click scored. He put in the GIF, like he sent him the GIF like that. And to be fair, I've spoke to him after, and he's took it quite well.
Yeah,
but
must be difficult for Charlie though, because he's a massive Leeds fan, and we know that. I've heard a story of him where one of my mates was saying that apparently, like, they were playing Arsenal or something away, Burnley were, and every time he goes into the changing rooms at half time and he's checking the Leeds score. So it just shows you, he's always a Leeds man.
I think there was, without getting too much into it, I think the way he left, there's a lot been portrayed that wasn't true. I'll just leave it at that, to be honest.
We know that. Hashtag blame Gary Monk.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good mates with Johnny Howson, and similar thing. He got chucked under a bus a little bit by the club, and Charlie definitely comes into that category. The whole refusal to play. You've said yourself, he's a big Leeds fan. You wouldn't ever refuse to play for Leeds. But Gary Monk, I mean, this is what amazes me. We all call Gary Monk a snake, yet we believe him on that.
Mate, trust me, I've had this conversation with numerous people. But back onto the Rodrigo influence anyway. I mean, we saw that. I mean, I'll be honest, Brownie, when he took Bamford off, it was sort of, I think it was 1-0 at that point. It was stretched a little bit. Burnley were getting into the game a little bit. He took Bamford off, and I turned around to my dad. I went, that is the wrong subs. And this is it every time. I'm going to start doing it every single time. I'm just going to keep saying it every single sub he makes, because he always proves me wrong. And this is why he's the manager and I'm in my bedroom talking about it. But yeah, unbelievable substitution. And I would say that is probably Rodrigo's best spell in the league shirt. And I'll tell you what, Brownie, the 2 times he's come on as a centre forward, well, in the past 2 games, he's looked very, very on it, sharp.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it on the Cooper being phased out, and I watched it with my brother, and I said to him, "Is this Bamford getting phased out now?" It might sound ridiculous, but he went off early in the last game. He's gone off early in today's game.
Surely not. He can't be, Brownie. 15 goals, mate. Nah, surely.
Do you think Bamford will start number 9 next season?
Yeah. He's got. I don't think Bielsa would ever. We've seen his morality and his ethics and all this sort of stuff, and getting picked. There's no chance if they're keeping Berardi around for an extra season, who thoroughly deserved it, by the way, thoroughly deserved to be in the Premier League and to get another contract. I think Leeds are based a lot on sentiment, and I think it's.
I'm not saying sell Bamford or anything like that. Not in the slightest. I think he's had an unbelievable season. He scored 15 goals in the Premier League, but. The last couple of weeks, there's been elements. He's even took him off for Roberts. There's been elements of him just going off in games a little bit more frequently than he ever did. And the same with the Cooper thing. When has Cooper never come straight back into the team? And I'm all for sentiment, but
no, I get it. You can't have sentiment in the Prem.
Just hear me out on that. If we were all for sentiment, we'd still have Michael Doyle and Jason Crowe in the team. Yeah, you evolve. When you get to the next level, you go again and you evolve. And I just think, I'm not saying get rid at all. I wasn't too, like you were disappointed with the substitution. I felt Bamford was getting a little bit gobbled up by Tarkowski and me. We weren't really doing it, and I just thought Rodrigo just seemed to stretch him. And within minutes, he'd came on and he'd flicked it round the corner. And I think I tweeted during the game, that's what I meant by Rodrigo's just quicker with the ball. When it comes into it, touch and gone. And we're on the counter, whereas other players in that position, I just think, slow it down a little bit. But yeah, I completely agree. For the price we paid for Rodrigo, that was the best spell in in a Leeds shirt. And that's what you need to see more of, that consistency of him doing that. And Llorente, we said he was a bit stop-start with his injuries. Rodrigo's been the same. He's been stop-start. It's just a shame the season's coming to an end just as he's getting sharp. But can you not play Rodrigo against Southampton midweek? How do you not play him?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Rodrigo sort of he's earned his spot now anyway. But I think it's stylistically, and I think I've just seen it in the comments as well, Brownie. We spoke about it weeks ago, and we spoke about it today as well. It wouldn't surprise me if Bamford was just absolutely shagged. He's got to a point where he runs his blood to water and he's just absolutely back away. So naturally, when he's coming up against physical defenders, and by the way, the referee was absolutely horrendous to get today. He might as well have had a Burnley top on. He was getting absolutely nothing out of Ben Mee and Tarkowski. So it might have just got to a point where Bielsa just thought, look, he's getting no joy here. Let's try different dynamic.
Different. I mean, Chris Wood's just got a free kick in his kitchen. I mean, how many times did he get a free kick just by a little... There was one where Bamford got ragged round, ball's gone forward, Ayling's jumped with Wood, free kick. It was the same phase of play. And Ayling even went mad with it, but it wouldn't surprise you that was it Graham Scott? He was the one that let Naki Wells handball it and double dribble through the Leeds penalty area and score for QPR. We never really seemed to get much out of him. Whenever he's reffing, we never really seemed to get much change. Just unfortunately today, he couldn't stop Leeds scoring 4.
What about the Tarkowski WWE knee to Llorente's spine, which probably wasn't far off paralysing the poor lad?
I didn't think it was a foul. I thought it was a good header. I don't think his knee needs to be there, though. He doesn't. It's one of them. Goalkeepers do it, and it winds me up. They come jumping out with the knees up, and they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. But
like we were just saying on about Rafinha. Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird one with him, hasn't it? Obviously, he came back in today. I mean, he got an assist again today. I mean, that assist is I mean, an assist is anything nowadays, and he just sort of passed it to Click, and Click ran about 40 yards and scored. But I mean, we're used to Rafinha. It's normally the reverse, maybe Click passing it to him and Rafinha doing it all. But I like we were just saying about Taylor there, and obviously this isn't biased because we know him, but I did think that was probably Rafinha's toughest test today. I actually thought at one point they should have switched wings, put Harrison on the other side, but I didn't think that was massively working with Rafinha against Taylor. I thought he was really struggling out there.
Yeah,
I thought he got Brownie. I thought he got joy. I thought he got joy on the counter attack when we were.
No, I agree with you, mate. I agree. I was trying to see how I word it. I remember saying during the game, and this will sound ridiculous, but I remember saying during the game, Rafinha's been poor. He kept giving the ball away. He didn't seem to get much joy. And even in the commentary, Lucy Ward, she said he's not got much joy out of Charlie Taylor, and he hadn't. And a few weeks ago, I remember when we were having the Alioski debate, and again, it could be biased, we know it, but I do remember saying Charlie would be good for Leeds in a Bielsa system because he absolutely bombs on all the time. How many crosses does Charlie get into the box? And after the game, I texted my brother, and I said, I just said, do you see Charlie staying at Burnley? And it all depended on, and his reply was, he's worth more to Burnley than teams would probably be prepared to pay. Just like Sean Dyche, he's worth more to Burnley than he would be to anybody. If Dyche wasn't at Burnley, I think Burnley go down. It's that element to it. But at the end of the day, Charlie's had 100 games in the Prem, so it swings and roundabouts. But I just think Jack Harrison was getting so much joy on the other wing. That's probably why they didn't switch him. But again, Rafinha's been out for 4 or 5 weeks, hasn't he? So he's got enough credit in the bank to cut him some slack, but he needs a hat-trick on Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm going into these final games now, mate. Just absolutely buzzing. I mean, in my wildest dreams, I said before the game, you know what I'm like. Everyone who's followed me since day one, I'm naturally pessimistic. But I did say today I thought we'd win maybe 2-1, but it'd be a tight, gritty game. But we were just absolutely ruthless. And now that's 7 goals in 2 games, 1 loss
53 points, Connor. 53 points.
But where does Sheffield... Do you know what I want, though, Brownie? Do you know what I want? I want us to next season do the exact same thing and better. And listen, I'd be happy just staying in the division next year. And a lot of you might turn around in the chat and be like, oh, Connor, this, that, and the other were better than that. I do agree. But in the second season, it's always about consolidation. It's the second season is always the hardest. And I'm not saying we're going to be going down, but I would be absolutely happy.
Connor.
No,
we've had burnout. We've had promoted because of COVID. With all these different things that keep getting thrown at Leeds, and now it's like second season syndrome's coming out.
But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying that, mate. I want us to be, as a club, I want us to just be. Everything has to be perfect in the summer. We're losing some massive senior heads in the team. Alioski, whatever you say about him, he's been there a while. Hernandez is going to be moving on. Berardi. These are senior heads. The senior heads in the dressing room. We're looking at 4 or 5 players to bring in. They've got everything's got to go perfectly. So all I'm saying is, in the second season, I'm not going to be turning around to everyone and saying, yeah, we're on a 6th, 7th March. I just want Leeds to be sad. But what I basically, my original point was, I do want to get away from this Sheffield United rhetoric. It's doing my head in.
Huddersfield were the same. Huddersfield had a really good first season, and then they went down the second season. You are right. The second season, you've come up. You're on the back of all the momentum of getting up.
Yeah,
teams aren't showing how you play.
The second season's always much harder, mate.
It is the one you get caught out on, yeah. But I just feel I didn't think Leeds would go down this season. I thought we'd be 12 to 15th. I really did.
I said 11.
Excelled everything that we've done this season for me. I just think Leeds are just a different kettle of fish. I just think the players, the Bielsa, how well we've done this season, the way we play is energetic. So it's all right, people knowing how we play, but they've got to match it.
Yeah.
And I just think with Bielsa, the club, I just think the players will be able to attract in the summer. I can't see us being down in the relegation. We've won more games than the bottom 3 put together.
No, we're not, mate. We're not going to be anywhere. We're not going to be anywhere near. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm not turning around and saying we're going to finish 6th next year. I'm just happy with being here and just being ambitious and seeing where we can get to.
And
but
if you flip it, we've lost 1 in the last 9 games. So towards the back end of the season, as we adapted to the Premier League, we've said many a times, Bielsa, the second time around playing someone, he's changed the way we've played. He's adapted to it. We look better against them the second time around.
Yeah.
So flipping it around next year, can we roll into next season?
Banging form.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
We're 3 points off Europe, Connor.
The thing is, Brownie, even if we brought in, let's say, like hypothetically, even if we're bringing in some top players, which I think we will, I can't. Let's say even if we kept hold of Alioski, let's say hypothetically, even if we rolled into next season with the form we're on right now, let's say if we bought 5 world-class players, I don't think Bielsa starts them, even if they're indoctrinated in the system. I don't think we see these players until the new year.
Yeah, well, when we splashed out on Costa in the Championship, it took him till October, November to get in the team.
Rafinha, mate, that's the big one.
Out on Rafinha, he didn't start until October, November. I think you're right. I don't think we just go bang. There's 5 players straight in the team. Rodrigo with game week 36, and he's only just starting to show us what he's about. You look at teams across the league. Chelsea, look at Timo Werner. He's scored a few lately. He's Kai Havertz. He's done nothing this season. You always need that spell to get in. Maybe next year they'll do more, but you can't just expect a player to come and go straight into a new league, new system, and it all click together. So 5 of them, I think you're right. I don't think we see 5 altogether.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, mate, unless you've got anything else to say, we can wrap it up. Can be short and sweet. Anything else you want to touch on? But yeah, apart from that, mate, obviously
we've gone through all the goals.
I don't want to talk about Alioski. We don't know what's happened. That seems very weird. We don't know what's happened. We think we know what's happened, but we don't. So I don't really want to comment on that until we know a little bit more. I think the club are keeping it hush hush. Burnley are keeping it hush hush. It seemed a little bit strange. So we're going to fight. It's maybe tainted the result a little bit. We're just hoping, touch wood, that nothing comes out. But it could be the other way. It looks like it could have been the other way, but we don't want to comment.
Could have been the other way. Like you say, it's one of them. Unless you know all the facts, it's not something you can really comment on. I thought it was telling that Burnley took McNeil straight away off within seconds. Took him straight off. But like you say, you don't know what's happened. I mean, I think it's Alioski just being an idiot, to be honest. That's him. If you're an opposition fan, you hate him. If he's in your club, you think he's hilarious. He's one of them. He's one of them type of players. Yeah. But yeah, we don't know the facts, so it's pointless even speculating. You see loads of stuff, speculation online, but nobody knows apart from McNeil and Alioski.
That's it, mate. No, you bang on. Right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate that. Ian J as well. Thank you for the super sticker, mate. Brownie, I guess at the end of the day, we've got Southampton on Tuesday, so it's going to be a real run around of fixtures. So maybe we can get a review out after the Southampton game, or maybe on the Wednesday, something like that, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Roll into St Mary's on the back of back-to-back wins.
That's it, mate. Yeah, unbelievable stuff. But guys, if you wouldn't mind, there's over 350 of you watching now. If you wouldn't mind showing your support for the channel and just smashing a like, and me and Brownie will be back probably on around Wednesday. But yeah, Brownie, thank you so much again for joining me, pal.
No worries. Everyone enjoy your nights. 4-0 to the Super Whites. Hey, that rhymed. That was good.
I thought you'd done that on purpose. Brownie's actually having a drink. Brownie's having a drink. I've never seen Brownie have a drink, so unless you're underage, there is no excuse for any one of you not to be having a drink.
Today was faultless. There was nothing wrong with today. Absolutely faultless. Even the most pessimistic fan cannot find anything wrong with today's result.
Definitely not, mate. And just quickly before we go, Brownie, what beer are you drinking?
It's not. It's a nice peach and mango lime cider.
No, of the cider brand, right? Okay. But yeah, all right, mate. I'll speak to you soon, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Cheers, guys.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.